Hi, Neil O'Brien here. You see a whale there in the background. I'm going to be talking in a while about profitable whale clients. This is a case study of a fabrication company I worked with a while back, and I'm going to take you through just two of the things we did around their profitability in terms of boosting their profitability. Whales and sardines. Every business has profitable whale clients, I call them, and loss-making sardines. And once you know who these are and you focus on the whales, it can have a massive impact in your business. So this is a fabricator. I'm just calling him John, okay? Not his real name. Sales of just over 5 million, gross margin 38%, net profit at 397,000, 8%. Now, I did an 80-20 analysis, which splits out the profit and loss by client. And here's a summary of how that looked. Now, profitable whale clients, in total, he did 55 projects, 9 of them had sales of 2.5 million, profit of 463,000. These were his most profitable projects. Now, the next section is the middle, we call them dolphins sometimes. These are some projects with smaller profitability. There was 32 of them, sales of 1.8 million, 126,000, 32% of total profit. Now, the third category, though, these are the sardines, and these projects lost money. 14 of them lost a combined 191,000. Some of these jobs were public jobs. The nature of the business is that quite often public jobs are fixed price. The spec changes or stuff happens in them, they're delayed and costs just run up. The whales are often pharmaceutical and the middle ones are a whole host. So John's total net profit for the year was 397,000, but within that, the smaller projects actually lost 191,000. So obviously, if you can minimize these or reduce them, focus more on his whales, it'll have a huge positive impact on his profitability. This is it in graph format. I know there was a lot of numbers on the last slide. This is a sample of it. Profitable whales, very profitable here. Middle dolphins here, small profits, but all of these were losing money, and quite a lot of them were public jobs like schools, hospitals, and so on. So all your customers are not the same. Some are much more valuable than others. I call them whales, the valuable ones. Now, the second thing I'm going to look at is a profit gap. Now, what's this? It's a difference between the profit that shows up in your annual accounts, your net profit, your sales less all your costs is your net profit, versus the profit you included in your selling price. And I have an example here, and this applies to almost every business I've ever worked with. So don't worry, it's not a criticism in any way, okay? Now, in John's case, when I looked at his pricing, or he priced jobs and stripped out the cost, on average, he was including a 15% net profit margin in his jobs, okay? His sales are 5.1 million. So John's expected profit in 2022 was 765,000 based on his sales and how he priced his jobs. Now, how did his actual profit come in? We just saw it earlier, okay? So John's expected profit was 765,000 here. His actual profit in his accounts was 397,000. So his profit gap was 348,000, and it is not unusual. I've seen this over and over again with businesses for all kinds of reasons. Now, why does this happen? I'm going to give you 5 of the most common reasons anyway. Discounts, okay? Discounts can just kill your margin, and I'm not an advocate. I'm always telling people not to discount. Inconsistent pricing, not having a consistent pricing method. I've worked with a lot of business over the years, and they'll price one job, it'll have a margin of X, and they'll price a similar job the following week, it'll have a margin of Y. Just very important to have consistent pricing to give you consistent profit margins. Project creep, stuff just, projects run on and run on. Client spec changing, again, is quite common in construction projects. Or like with the fabricator, I've worked with engineers and architects, and poor project management internally or inefficiencies. Now, I'm just going to focus on 2 of these. Discounting is a killer of profits. If you give a 10% discount, it can half your profit. So discounts is one of the main reasons why profit gaps exist. And the other one is not having a consistent pricing method. Now, the fabricator, every job he did was different, okay? So the materials and labor were different. But what I did with him was we designed a pricing method where he could key in his materials and his labor and any of his other costs. And we have a formula in there that'll give him price that gives him the same profit margin every time. And that, that's quite doable. I've done a lot of pricing work for people over the years. So what I say with pricing formula is have a consistent method, use a spreadsheet, and don't discount. So what's the overall impact of all these on John's business? His profit last year was 397,000. Eliminating those loss-making projects we saw earlier on, 191,000, closed that profit gap, 348,000. So all of that could bring his profit on his current sales up to 917,000. And I often say, even if you only got half it, it would still have a massive positive impact on John's business. So I have plenty of templates on this. If you're interested in looking at any of those, you can email neil@quantum.ie. Neil@quantum.ie. Okay, thanks for listening.